The expectant assemblage arriving for the Saturday, May 19th graduation ceremony of the Chaparral High School class of 1996. Sandra Lynn Wilson, achieving recognition for concluding a 12-year educational journey on the road of life. A high school diploma documenting her accomplishment. Members of the family having arrived for the event. Her sister Marlo, husband Chris, nephew and niece Garrett and Allison having journeyed from Oklahoma City. Her Kiowa grandparents Bud and Helen Murrow, Aunt Lynn Johnson, husband Sean, cousins Sarah and Jamie, plus a visiting Aunt Gail Robb. For some reason Gary found graduation ceremonies very moving. He questioned that it might be the recognition and acknowledgement of the individuals as they cross the stage, and then again, the Chaparral graduation tradition. The words of an Irish blessing resounded a largo of emotion for the conclusion of the ceremonious presentation. Sandra was impressive in her use of the 1982 Toyota, a natural with the manual 5-speed transmission, and never complaining about the family transportation heirloom. Gary coming to the conclusion that his princess's transportation needed to be upgraded, making a decision to relinquish his cherished '89 Oldsmobile Cutlass to her, retiring the Tercel wagon. A visit to Bogner Chevrolet in Kiowa, finding Gary bargaining with Bill with the reliable Toyota Tercel, having chauffeured his wife to Pratt during her college years, as a trade-in. Gary deciding that a 1992 Buick Skylark would serve his needs for the time being, presenting his daughter with the Oldsmobile. Gary awoke early on a Saturday morning, the first weekend after entrusting Sandra with the Oldsmobile Cutlass, expecting to find its presence outside the home, but discovering that it was nowhere to be found. Going upstairs to Sandra's room, finding her responsive to his inquisition about the absence of her car. Sandra looking puzzled, asserting she had parked it out front. Hearing voices admitting from the third floor above, discovering two of her friends, whom apparently had been playing pool during the past night, concurrently were still present upstairs. As they descended, they gave an explanation that they had fallen asleep and spent the night on the third floor. Gary once again checking for the presence of the car, to no avail, turning on his scanner to the Anthony Police Channel. Hearing there was activity about an overturned car on rural Northeast 10th Avenue, an unimproved road paralleling Highway 2 north to Harper. The police on the scene transmitting an automotive description. Gary immediately proceeded north to the location, finding no sign of law enforcement, but the '89 Cutlass overturned in a ditch. The keys still in the ignition. His emotion was without description, a wonderment to see an exponent of his material life destroyed without explanation. Returning home, Gary questioning the two boys, the two adamant they had no idea of what could have transpired about the missing car. Still maintaining they had fallen asleep upstairs as John Blevins, the Anthony chief of police, arrived. John, an acquaintance of Gary, and more so of his wife Jan, a classmate of her Kiowa high school graduation class. John Blevins was a professional, having spent 20 years as a police officer in Wichita, retiring from the larger city force to take a leadership position in Anthony. Interviewing the two boys with a skeptical look on his face, asking Gary to take him to the third floor, where the boys had spent the night. Gary was shocked at what he saw as they entered the large third-floor ballroom, home to the pool table. The room disheveled, almost a remnant of a bar, empty bottles and cans including alcoholic beverages spewed about. A perplexed look on John's face, Blevins questioning about its appearance. Gary was truthful in his answer, stating it had been more than a week since he had ventured to the third floor, adding that he never bought or would provide any alcoholic beverage to his children or anyone underage, hesitating, then adding, his Kiowa high school classmate may know more about that subject than he does. Returning to the main floor, Chief Blevins took both youths to his patrol car. Returning a short time later, stating the car theft mystery was solved. The youth admitting that they found Sandra's car keys, drove to Harper to more liquor, and on the way home, wrecked the car, and walked back to Anthony, resuming their presence on the third floor. Gary had no affection over the event, more of a disappointment in his daughter for her lack of discretion in acquiring friends. The loss of the cutlass, plus a balance of $1,300 still owed after insurance remuneration. The underage boys taken into custody would be tried in juvenile court, Gary not expecting any monetary restitution.